Welcome back to the Venom Workshop. So today we're looking at a 1500-watt ATV here. What we're going to be doing is changing the battery gauge. The battery gauge here is got a broken wire on it. So we're going to take this out and then we're going to replace it with a new one. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to get my camera and my tools in place and let's get started. Okay, so when you get your battery gauge, it's going to look just like this. Whoa, sorry about that. It's going to look just like this in this little baggie. It's not going to have the plug on it. You don't want the plug on it just yet because we have to put these wires through the bracket that holds it on the back. So we're going to get started. We're going to start taking everything apart first. Because we've got to lift the body. If you don't lift the body, you can't get it off of there. It's going to be a real pain in your butt. So we're going to take the rack, the back rack here. We're just going to drop it down. We're not going to take it right off. We're just going to let it hang. And then we're going to remove the footwells right here and here on both sides. And we're going to take this front rack off and get rid of that just so we can lift up the body and get inside there. So let's get started. So for the back rack, we're just going to remove 2 of the bolts. And you're going to need a 10 mil ratchet to do that. And we're going to just remove the 2 front bolts. I'm going to get my tray to put some bolts in because I'm going to have 1 or 2. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to let it hang down like that. I'm going to get my bolt tray. Okay, we can get rid of our seats too. Now I'm going to get you're going to need a number 5 Allen key. I put one on my driver like this. It just makes it a lot easier for taking these out. Next, we're going to move up and move the camera down. This one here, there's a nut on the back of it. Just reach down, you can grab it. Okay, we're gonna go to the other side. We're gonna do the exact same thing. I don't need to do this on camera. You guys have done this on the other side, so you can do this all by yourselves. All right, let's take this off. Now, your whole body is just removed. So to remove it out of these tabs, you just have to push down like that. Now I'm gonna go down to the other side and do the same thing. I'm gonna hit it like that and get it out of there. And now it's lifted up, or it's all unfixed from the frame. So I can lift it up like that on top. Do the other side and clip it out of here. Like that. And now we can lift it up like that to where we can get it. I usually like to put something underneath here. I usually use my flashlight. So I'm going to do that right now. It just keeps it up so I don't have to keep playing with it. There we go. And it gives me more light. So, now I'm going to try to get my camera in the best position so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see if we can get a better angle at this. Sorry about this, guys. I just want to get it perfect so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. There we are. That's pretty good. Right there. All right. So our battery gauge is being held on by this bracket here. So you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver to take that off. And don't lose those screws because you're going to need them. If they don't include the screws, the battery gauge. And I don't want that metal to fall down and fall across the negative and positive, so I grab that and I'll pull it up like that. So I'm just going to come over and grab my camera real quick. Scoot to here. I'm going to get it in position so I can show you how to put this back together now, because it's one wire's broke. So I'm going to get that in place and let's get it fixed up. So that is the old one. This is my new one right here. And what I want to do is I have to put these wires in my plug, but I don't want to do that until I put it through this hole first. So I'm going to go ahead and snip this off because this gauge is no good anymore. So I'm just going to put this over here. Out of the way. Okay, perfect. So now we can take our two wires and we can feed them through here in the center. Now our plug. So if you're looking at the plug like this with the tab at the top, the red goes into the right side and the black goes into the left side. And put it in until you feel the click. That's all you're looking for, is that click. And that's it. So now we can go back over and we can reinstall this. Just like that. That's the way it's going to go on the ATV. So let's go get it. I'll get it again. I gotta get my stupid camera in place. It's so tight there, but I'll get that in place and I will see you there. All right, we're back. So there's our little opening there. So we're gonna get our new gauge here. All right. So now when we do this, we're gonna pass our plug. Like I said, don't let this fall and touch any points on the battery, because it will literally fry everything. So we're gonna put our wires up first. We're just gonna hold it in place first, just so we get one of the screws started. And there is a little washer on the screw, so make sure you put it back on. And I'm just going to finger tighten that in there first, just so I can go ahead and get my other screw started. Go. So now I just need to grab my Phillips screwdriver and we will finish screwing that up inside there, and we'll plug it in, make sure it works. Go. And then we'll start putting everything back together. I'm trying to go in evenly as possible, so a couple turns on each side. And when you're doing that, make sure that your gauge at the top is level and exactly where you want it. Go. And get it semi-tight. I'm going to put it where I want it, and then I'll tighten it right up. That's where it is right now. Okay, that's nice and tight. Perfect. Now the gauge is exactly where I want it to be. Yeah, it's perfect. So now to test it, we just have to plug it in. Our plug is right here. Our body is a little high. And now I should be able to turn on my key. And yeah, my battery gauge works perfectly. So that's it. So we're gonna pull that out, or pull my camera out, get our flashlight down, and then we're gonna start putting everything back together. I'm going to show you one side, how to put everything back together, and then the other side, you guys, like I said, can handle yourselves. So let's get started putting everything back together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop these in on each side, just like that. Then you're going to want to go down, push your body in so it clips on the bottom sides of these clips. Like I said, I'm going to do one side with you, and then the other side I'm going to let you do by yourself. I'm going to show you something else really fast. When we're under here, You want to make sure this tab is on the outside of this, and then I'll show you how to put all the screws in. And I'll get the front rack too. I'm going to put it back on, and I'm going to just set it on there, that's all. So I'm going to go ahead to the other side. I'm going to do it all up, and then I'm going to show everybody how to do this side. And always make sure before you put any screws in to line these both sides up. So this side's already lined up. I'm going to go to the other side, line it up. Make sure, like I said, to do both sides and make sure they're clipped into these clips first. Okay. So first off, we're going to take one of our hex bolts here, our Allen key bolts. We're going to put it in right here. Go ahead and put the nut back on it. Okay, and that goes in the second hole from the top. Like, it goes all the way to the top. So now we've done that. Okay, next, which bolt here goes up through here at the bottom. And we can go ahead and start it. I'm not gonna put that bolt all the way up until I make sure and line up the other side. If you tighten them right up and they don't line up, then you have to start all over again. So I'm gonna just finger tight that for now. That's good. Now we can go ahead and put our boot well bolts back on. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and do this off camera. I'm gonna all the way around. I'm gonna do all 6 of them really fast. It's just these short ones. Put the nut on the end. And just go around the whole thing and do that, and I'll meet you back at the back rack.